Hello everyone and welcome back. This video I'm starting something a little new and a little old. The Malamar Games are back, but this time I'm going to be recording and sharing them from the beginning, hopefully every week or the week after. There are a bunch of big names playing this time around, like JoeUX9, Audie, Neil, and Pengy, but my first week I'm actually going to be up against my fellow Game Corner podcast host, Captain Unova, or Sheldon. I'm going to link their channel and the channel for our podcast in the description for this video. For those who don't know, the Malamar Games are a wacky league where we play according to a random theme each week. If you don't mind watching Sword and Shield videos, I actually had a recap of my last run in the last run of this league a few videos back. These games will be closed team sheet in order to maximize the chaos from these crazy themes, and they're always a lot of fun. Week 1's theme this time around is no good Pokemon, and what that means is that we cannot use anything from the top 100 in Battle Stadium usage. I'm going to go over my team really quickly here, but if you'd like to skip ahead to the battles, I will have timestamps for those below. Anyway, so let's take a look here. So first we have Klefki, kind of the linchpin of the team. Screens help our bulky Stallmons. Foul play does respectable chip, especially against physical attackers, of course. And then we have Sunny Day, which enables Harvest on Tropius, fire moves on all three of our big attackers, Crocodile, Electros, and Noivern. And it also cuts the water weakness on Knucklestack. So very, very good support move. Hopefully my opponent doesn't see it coming. And then we have Tropius here to play Stall. So it has that Sub Leech Seed Protect combo as well as Harvest with the Citrus Berry. So when the sun's up, it will always recover its Citrus Berry the turn after eating it, which means it just is constantly healing. It has respectable bulk, a fully bulky spread, and it has the screens up. So this thing is just, it's flying Ferrothorn, and it's going to be really annoying. And it also can sit next to Crocodile while it clicks EQ, which is very nice. So Knucklestack here plays a very similar role to Tropius, but it has different weaknesses, so it could work in different matchups. It provides setup also with Iron Defense and Body Press, so you can put out big damage if the game is going to go long thanks to your own stall. It's not as good as Garganical, which is why Garganical is very high usage and Knucklestack is not, but don't let that fool you because Eviolite makes this thing incredibly bulky, and it has exactly the same moves as its evolution does, so I think this one is going to be really annoying for my opponent here. Terra Grass is also really nice for dealing with ground and water weaknesses, and it allows it to resist EQ and Discharge from the rest of the team, and Discharge can't paralyze it thanks to Purifying Salt, so that's very nice. And then finally, we have this offensive trio of Crocodile, Electros, and Noivern. There's just a lot of synergy between them. We, of course, have the Disquake combo, where Electros has Levitate to not get hit by EQ, and Crocodile is ground type to not get hit by Discharge. Noivern can also take either of those, whether it terras or not, because it has the telepathy ability, and then it can also set up Tailwind for them. Terra Fire on Crook is really nice for the burn immunity, and then you also get Terra Fire Blasts, Terra Blasts, boosted in Sun, very nice. Noivern has the same option to get Stab, Heat Waves, and Sun off as well, so you have a lot of damage output between these three mons. That's pretty much it though. So we've got both stall and offense, hopefully be able to adapt to whatever Cap can throw at us. So let's jump into those games. Okay, jumping into it. I just want to say first off, I've already played the set. This is commentary after the fact. I wanted to be able to focus on these games. But let's talk about Captain Unova or Sheldon's team here. They've got some very cool stuff. Right out the bat, I see the Primeape, which I was looking at for myself. It gets a Rage Fist, just like its evolved form does. So you can still use Beat Up on that, so I'm kind of considering that plus Weavile. There's also the Colossal, which is a potential lead. What I basically decide here is that I'm going to go straight for a Stally lead. I go with Klefki and Knucklestack as my leads, so I can just immediately start clicking screens and spreading around Salt Cures, building up Iron Defenses, and so on. And then I can set Sunny Day for my attackers in the back. Presumably Klefki will go down first, but it's reasonably bulky, and Steel Fairy is very good defensively, so it's hard to say exactly. Got the suit looking fresh, Sheldon. I think I want the same for this. Yeah, all right. And so they do, in fact, go with that Primeape and Sneasel lead. Not Weavile, sorry. So yeah, I think because we're going for the Iron Defense. Normally, if I do after the fact commentary, I'll try to watch the video first and get a feel for what happened again, but it's been a little bit and I don't actually know, so they're going for that beat up right off the bat. The thing is that Knucklestack's ability Purifying Salt isn't just overpowered and that it makes you immune to all conditions, it also gives you half damage from Ghost for some reason. So this Rage Fist, which is not stab and is off of Primeape's less than stellar attack stat, is pretty good but decent, but not amazing like Annihilape's is. So yeah, we take that so easily. It's effectively resisted. We have Reflect up. Like, we're doing great at this point, right? So now I can click the Sunny Day for my mons in the back and start spreading Salt Cures. We have this Iron Defense too, so that's just going to be really solid damage into either of these mons. 4 times against Sneasel, of course. And Sheldon reveals the Leer tech, which is really cool. Lowering both your opponent's defense off of a fast mon like Sneasel and then hitting them with Rage Fist is a really scary combo. But the Reflect is showing how great it is, and also just that Klefki is pretty bulky. So we can start spreading this Salt Cure around now. I will say, because this is a Stolly strategy, I might start skipping around these battles just a little bit. Can just kind of scrub through if it's going to be a particularly long stretch of Salt Cure Recover. But honestly, I can't fully remember how it went, so we're going to have to see here. And at this point, I'm trying to decide, should I greed for more iron defenses or start laying down damage with Knuckle Stack? Because its defense is quite good, but it's mostly invested in the special defense, if I recall, so it's not going to do quite as much damage. I also don't know if Eviolite applies its boost to body press. That's something interesting I maybe should know before I play with that. So yeah, now we get both our screens up, which is nice with this Pachirisu out. And Rage Fist takes down Klefki, but that's kind of what I wanted at this point, right? It set its Sun, it set both screens. Now we can get an attacking mon in next to Knuckle Stack, who has plus 3 defense since it took a Leer. But still, this is it's shaping up, and Salt Cure is just continuing to chip away at this Primeape. Now, I do have to keep in mind that the Primeape probably has Drain Fist, and allowing it recovery isn't ideal. So good question is who to bring in at this point. I think Noivern made sense just for the big Draco damage, potentially. But I could also see the logic in Eelektross, because you would be able to click Discharge here, which would be very nice. Although the Pachirisu can absorb it, so maybe that's why I didn't go for that. And it's quite bulky itself, taking a 252 Modest Draco. But Eelektross would have been immune to Nuzzle, and Noivern is not, so that is particularly rough. But now we have Salt Cures laid on both mons, which is really nice. Drain Fist into, or Drain Punch rather, into Knuckle Stack is a little scary because it's super effective, but at the same time, we already have all those defense boosts, so we still shouldn't take much. And Salt Cure really is the perfect counter because that Primeape probably has Eviolite itself, and I'd imagine is quite bulky as a result. Sneasel's coming out, so that's a little rough for the potential fake out. And Noivern gets the full para. So it really is kind of the Knuckle Stack show at this point. And yeah, Rage Fist takes it out. The critical hit too. Maybe it mattered because of Reflect, but that is a fully boosted Rage Fist, and Noivern's quite frail. But the body press damage plus the Salt Cure gets rid of Primeape, and now we're in a fantastic position. Basically, they need something that can do percentage-based damage like Salt Cure here, because we have Light Screen up and all those defense boosts and Reflect, so I don't even know if they have anything on the special side that's strong enough to break it. Appleton, right? I forgot about this really weird tech that Cap had. At this point, I think protecting Eelektross made sense, because it's kind of just another target to split his attention. Like, we are definitely playing towards this Knuckle Stack endgame. I'm also terroring here because I have no idea what the Appleton has, but presumably it has some kind of grass stab, and if it happens to be on the special side, then we're in a bad shape. I do remember what tech that Cap went for here, though, and the Grass Terra turned out to be a really good idea. So we do get fake outed. And they go for Leech Seed, exactly, yeah. So this Grass Terra ended up being massive. That was into Electros, but I'm pretty sure Leech Seed can affect Knucklestack. It's not like Goldengo in that it's immune to all status moves, period. It just can't be afflicted with a status. So Taunt and whatnot would work as well. But now we can't get seeded, so this Knucklestack can 100% win the long game. And Cap goes ahead and withdraws the Sneasel, which, in retrospect, I should have targeted into that slot. That's probably what I was afraid of. But instead we go for this Discharge. And again, this is great, right? Because it's annoying that he called the Discharge with the Vault Absorb. But it barely hurts Knucklestack thanks to the Grass Terra, and we can't be paralyzed by it. Now, I was kind of going for that. I really could have clicked Flamethrower instead for the guaranteed damage, but here we are. Dodging that Leech Seed is also nice. And the Salt Cure starts to chip away. Now, it appears that this Appleton is also a Stallmon. So, in a little bit of trouble here, in that it is going to come down to probably the two Stallmons alive against each other. And if I recall, it does get Iron Defense and Body Press, so we are in for it. Now, Super Fang on Pachirisu, I was just talking about percentage-based moves. That's really scary. And Appleton's starting to build up its defense, too. Luckily, we do have Recover, so at this point, it's a game of getting HP back on an Knucklestack. If they manage to burst me down this turn, it's over. And Reflect is down, too. Which is trouble if that Appleton hits me with a Body Press. But then Cap goes ahead and withdraws Pachirisu, I guess for the fake out pressure on Sneasel, but this is great because my Flamethrower is going into that slot. It does reveal the Sash on Sneasel too. And this burn, I forgot about that. That's actually incredibly important. That's a nice little bit of RNG on my end. Without that, the Sneasel can fake out next turn. The Appleton could continue to build up Body Press boosts or Iron Defense boosts for its Body Press, and it does manage to seed Electros here. So yeah, that Appleton is looking really annoying to deal with. And in fact, at some point, Electros is going to be something of a liability for me. But now it's 2v2, and I think I do have the stronger stall position here, especially because Pachirisu is one hit from death and may not even have Protect. And at this point, we are preemptively recovering because it seems obvious that they would go for the Super Fang like they do here, yes. Luckily, we know that Knucklestack is faster than the Appleton, which is really good information. So we can get this recover off before they try to hit us with a big Body Press. So now we've got the 2v1. We're taking nothing from their boosted Body Presses. They may have to go up to +6, and then maybe they could do something, but we can do the same with ours. And then if it's neutral Body Presses into Eviolite Knucklestack, it's not doing anything. No, we are still getting sapped by that Leech Seed, and that's completely undoing the residual from Salt Cure, which is quite annoying. And I believe I thought of that at this point and realized what needed to be done. So we're going to get one last little bit of chip off here with Flamethrower. And then it's time for the side Body Press. So I don't want them to have any more healing at this point. The damage from Flamethrower is pretty negligible, and since it's neutral and this thing's so bulky, so the healing from Leech Seed is actually more annoying to me. I need to minimize the number of turns that this game takes to minimize the amount of potential crits they can get. because if they do get a crit with +6 defense from all those iron defenses, then it will take their boost into account, but not mine, which means that they probably could score that Oko. Otherwise, I win this every time between Salt Cure damage and Recover. Their recovery is entirely in that Leech Seed, so the Terra Grass was really fortunate on my part. And here I'm checking the boosts. They're at +4. So I just want to get my last iron defense boosts up. They're doing the same. Honestly, I think here in Cap's position, it's hard to say, but I think you may just want to click body press as many times as possible to maximize the number of chances that you could get a critical hit. But that is not not what happened here. I don't know. It's hard to say though, because if +4 with a crit isn't enough for the Oko, then you still lose because Recover can just bring it back entirely from that point. The burn actually does impact this also, because that reduces body press's power even if it crits. So at this point it's pretty much locked away. And I think I do just stall through it. So I'm going to scrub ahead a little bit until this last turn here. And I think this is the one that does it. And Sheldon actually forfeits, so very good sport. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's move on into game 2 now. I'll scrub ahead again. Yeah, so this time, I decided to go with Tropius as the lead, I believe. Honestly, I wanted the variety. I wanted to see if I could make this work. It's just a different kind of stall, so I'm sorry for all of you who don't enjoy this kind of gameplay. But getting to use the big banana dinosaur is really cool. And yeah, gonna see how it goes. I can't remember if I brought. I looks like I do bring Knuckle Stack as well. So we were just going full stall troll here. And then what would the fourth one be? I think I do end up going with Crocodile, because we can EQ under Tropius, and if Knuckle Stack Terras, then that's really nice too. Wow, I took a long time to decide this. Yeah, it was Crook. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, and he goes with Sneasel Colossal, so this is really old school. The problem is that Colossal has super effective damage into Tropius on multiple fronts. The fire, the rock, yeah, it's not great times. I'm going ahead and making the call that they are physical Colossal, but it could be either. And then I immediately Terra Water to not get hit by a weakness policy fire or rock attack, and then proceed to try to click Leech Seed into it. Committing your Terra this early in a game can be rough unless you have a real knockout strategy, but at this point, allowing something to swap into a Colossal attack is just too big of a commitment. And Cap's going for the Terra too, which makes a lot of sense, right? With Terra, you can reduce Colossal's weaknesses to ×2 instead of ×4 for that Steam Engine boost. And looks like he's going with the Pure Rock. So he'll get double stab on his rock moves, and then on top of the most likely weakness policy, yeah, so Surf up Sneasel, which we would have resisted anyway, even without the Terra, but it's nice that our Terra didn't ruin that. And man, that does so little. Yep, Steam Engine, weakness policy, let's see how it does. Oh yeah, Rock Slide. Okay, so we're also scared of flinches here, and double connects too, which is really rough. But no flinch, so we get the Leech Seed off. And now we're in the recovery engine has started here, right? And it's nice to show that with those screens, even +2 means that we still take it. And they'll knock us down pretty far this turn, but we'll have that Citrus Berry with Harvest as well. So it's time to click, I want to say it's time to click Sunny Day. You definitely want Sunny Day up so that Harvest can proc. I believe it can proc even without the sun, but the sun increases the odds of it happening. And then on Tropius, you want to just get that stall going, so I think Substitute is the play, yeah. Yeah, may have thought better of this because of boosting their fire attacks, but I think it's fine. Yes, that Rock Slide definitely hurts. We get our Citrus Berry boost, and we should get that Citrus Berry back on the next turn. They click Leer, which is not ideal. Basically undoes our Reflect, but now Sub goes up. So not getting flinched these last 2 turns has been very nice, although I guess in return both of their Rock Slides double connected. So anyway, yeah, so we get the Leech Seed damage or healing back behind our Sub, and Harvest gets us a Citrus Berry back. So the next time we get knocked under half, we'll eat it again. Yeah, so really good shape here. And now I think I go for Foul Play onto the Colossal, because this will do a lot of damage if it connects, but that depends whether it actually does. Protect on Tropius. That's good. We have the Sub up, so you can protect your Sub and just continue to get all that nice recovery. And they go for EQ. Okay. So Klefki doesn't get to have that big Foul Play damage, but I'm surprised that does not Oko and Sneasel. Like, +2 Cole is kind of underwhelming, to be honest. And they go for Beat Up. I don't think that's even breaking the Sub, even at the -1, but we'll see. And Leech Seed continues to drain, and so I have Cap in an interesting position now, right, where he has to decide whether he wants to give up the boosts or not to get rid of all that Leech Seed recovery. So I think I bring out Crook here, and this would have been something to use earlier, honestly. Instead of going for that greedy Foul Play, swapping in Crocodile earlier would have been amazing to get Intimidates down. And here I'm getting a little greedy, and so it's hard to say what's greedy, really. Because on one hand, I could swap into Knuckle Stack and keep swapping Crook back in for the Intimidate drops. On the other hand, I could just click EQ right here. Now, granted, Tropius isn't a flying type anymore, so that might have been why I didn't do that. And yeah, they protect Colossal, so this ended up being the right play. And Sneasel goes for that beat up again. If I recall, I don't even think it breaks the Sub. It's crazy. I think because they have to go for beat up and Surf, and presumably they have Fake Out. And what that means is that I don't know. And then Leer is the 4th move, right? So they have no real damage on Sneasel, so it's kind of a dead slot. So it's actually not all that surprising the Cap would click EQ. He kind of wants it off the field. And I suppose I'm going to give him that with his Leech Seed now. Although it should still take another turn, if I recall. It's only in the yellow. Yep, just draining that coal. And now Tropius is almost back to full health. It has a Sub up. It still has its berry thanks to Harvest. You can kind of see that this thing is not bad, honestly. So now we swap Knuckle Stack right back in to get another Intimidate onto the Colossal, and then we can just click Protect on Tropius again and drain them one more turn. Keep the Sub alive yet again. Because I am still scared of that EQ, right? Will not feel good on Knuckle Stack. I could have just clicked Recover, I suppose, but this seemed like the safer play. And they do indeed just click EQ. And kind of smart because they get their Sneasel off the field and deny me the healing from it. But I don't think it really matters, because we're still going to get back up to full health with Leech Seed. So now that Cole is really fast, but it's lost all of its both of its attack boosts, so that's pretty nice. The issue is I don't really have much into this Primeape. think it was CC, but CC is a rough choice, right? Because I'm exposing myself to super effective fighting attacks and getting even weaker for it. But they just throw out Appleton, which is actually really rough for me. I can't seed the Appleton, and because I've used my Terra already, there's nothing I can do to stop it. A, from leech seeding Tropius since it's now water, but also leech seeding Knucklestack. So I probably lose the stall war this game. CC does take out Cole, so that's nice. We are in a 3v2 situation, but yeah, I don't really know what I do into this this Appleton, because I don't have any way to get leech seed immunities, and they are immune to my own leech seeds. So even though I have the numbers advantage, the late game is not looking good for me. On top of that, Primeape with its Drain Fist recovery is not in a bad spot either. And every hit I give it is just going to boost its Rage Fist stacks. And getting Crocodile out, I did that in order to avoid taking a super effective hit while at -1, but honestly it's probably for the worst because I'm going to end up giving Primeape a Defiant boost probably when, right? Not if one of these mons goes down and I'm forced to send my Intimidator back in. And now Sheldon reveals the Apple Acid tech too, so yeah, that's scary. Is that Poison type? I don't know why he didn't use it on my Grass Knucklestack last game. I want to look that up. Yeah, so it's just getting further and further out of control, right? You can set up these bulk up boosts too, and Air Slash is super effective into Appleton, which is nice, but just not enough. And the thing is, even if I can get it, I can probably get it off the field with the Air Slash. This Apple Acid really hurts, but it's right. It lowered my special defense. Yeah, no, this game is 100% over. Yeah, and it is Poison type, so they really should have been clicking that into my Knuckle last game. That seems like a bit of a throw. That's kind of the thing with this league, though, is that you never really know all too well how to play your own teams, right? Because you can't take this on ladder. You'll get absolutely murdered by all the Paradox mons and stuff in the actual Series 2 ladder. And yeah, now I'm forced to even bring in Crocodile and Intimidate. I think I just kind of give myself a Mercy Death here and click EQ to get rid of my own Knucklestack. I can't remember. Put Salt Cure on Primeape, and then I don't even know. Yeah, so I guess I was trying to make it not a complete like bowl over with them having like a 2v0 situation at the end, but yeah, I mean, whatever. It's 100% over now. They showed the Drain Punch, that Primeape's at +1 and it's super effective into both my mons. Like there's absolutely no way. So yeah, I just click the EQ here and it ends. We can see, yeah, kill my own Knucklestack, and then the Drain Punch will take me out. So we got to go into a game 3 here. It's kind of funny. I normally don't like this particular style of playing, but it's pretty funny with all the wacky mons. Like, I've not seen a Primeape do anything, or a Tropius. Yeah, so let's go ahead and skip over to game 3. I'll let it show Sheldon's victory screen first. Yeah. All right, so skipping on to team preview. This time I think I decided that I wanted the Knucklestack as the lead again. That worked much better. But in the back this time I'm bringing the Crocodile and the Noivern, so this accounts for the potential Colossal lead. I know that Cap is usually a fan of if it isn't broke, don't fix it, so Having Crook in the back would be really nice against that intimidating Colossal. If we have Intimidate plus Reflect, we can mostly ignore its weakness policy boosted attacks. And then Noivern is just nice for the big special damage. Potentially Tailwind if we need it. I don't really know how fast the Primeape is. But it's just another thing I can click EQ next to, which is quite nice. All right, final game. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, I was going with the Sneasel and Colossal. That's right. So we click Reflect, and now I'm pinned a little bit, right? Because they can hit me with fire or ground here, so depending on whether I tear it to grass or not. So yeah, instead of going for the stall play right away, I swap in Crocodile to get the Intimidate down onto Cole, and then I try to click Reflect with Klefki immediately. And they go for the Fake Out into the Crook. Yeah, so this was great. So now, even when they proc the policy, that Cole is basically at neutral, and Flare Blitz hits, but yeah, we were in no trouble here. Now, granted, it wasn't boosted, but even if it was, it would have done double that, and it wouldn't have killed Klefki. So, Intimidate plus Reflect, very nice. So now I'm trying to decide what to do with Klefki here. It's hard to say, honestly. I'm not really sure what I go for here. They could go Light Screen, but they don't have many special attackers. Sunny Day is good, but it would boost their own Colossal's fire attacks. At this point, I've realized the error of my ways in not tearing Knuckle Stack. I need that to stay grass for me to have a chance in the late game. Not just with Primeape, but also with the Appleton. So we try to swap Knuckle Stack in here to have a good shot at dealing with the potential fire move, but instead my opponent just swaps out their Colossal as well, and they go for the Leer, which is less than ideal. And this foul play into Sneasel does basically nothing, but it popping the Sash is really nice, and I think that's what I was going for there. So we're going for this Terra Grass to not get seeded. At this point, I already know the Sneasel doesn't have any ice moves, so that's very nice. Granted, yeah, I didn't even think about the Acid Spray when I was playing either. I don't know why Captain go for it, to be perfectly honest. He may have thought that it was like that the ability was like the Goldango situation. My headphones just died too. I don't really need these right now anyway. So yeah, Terra goes off. Let's see. We get our light screen up. I suppose it's good for Acid Spray if they do go for that. Yeah, and we start building up the Iron Defenses. And Cap does too. Yeah, it's a little scary, right? Because if the Primeape builds up enough bulk ups, then I can't really body press it too hard, but Salt Cure should still be doing very well. At this point, I think I'm swapping in the Noivern just to get some special burst damage down. I have the Sash, so unless they doubled the Klefki slot for some reason, it's going to survive and be able to click a move. And yeah, if we can just get a big Draco Meteor off into Appleton, for example, especially if it doesn't Terra, then we're in a great position. And yeah, Primeape's going for this bulk up, but I think we outlast them between Iron Defenses and Salt Cures. Yeah, that body press does nothing. So here, yeah, we're going straight for the big Draco Meteor, and then we can spread the Salt Cure around. Even if they swap something else in, I'm pretty sure the Draco will take out Cole or Sneasel most likely, since this thing is Modest and Sash. But Modest and Stab and base 130 and all that. Sash doesn't matter for damage, obviously. And they do go for the Terra here. So the Draco might have been obvious on my part, but unless you go to a resisted type, it's still going to do a lot. And Poison, yeah, so I can see why that typing would be good, but not in this case. Yeah, even at neutral, Draco does a ton, and since Salt Cure does more damage than Leftovers heals, yeah, that Appleton is not long for this world. And now we get the Salt Cure down onto Primeape. Drain Punch rather doesn't do that much despite being a +1, so now we can just start clicking Recover and watching the Salt tick away at these Mons. They do get the Leech Seed up, so that's a little annoying. But what moves do we know about Appleton now? We know Leech Seed, we know Acid Spray, we know Iron Defense and Body Press, which means it can't protect. So putting a Draco into that is actually pretty safe. Granted, Cap and I were both having a drink with this set, so I may not have thought of that at the time. It really is a different skill set putting together your opponent's sets when you don't have open team sheet. And yeah, instead of going for that safe move, I just swap out to get rid of the Leech Seed. And clicking Iron Defense here on Nagelstack, I suppose it's safe based on the damage I saw. I could get one more Iron Defense off before recovering, but it's a little greedy just because of potential crits. But we are kind of bleeding our opponent dry here, right? Unlike last, honestly, the Tropius did really well until the Appleton hit the field, but this time I'm just showing that the Terra Grass Nagelstack just kind of hard walls pretty much everything on this team. If Cap managed to get out a procced Colossal with Flare Blitz going, that could be a problem. But that's been a positional game. I think that's much harder for him to do than for me to set up here. Once I chased out the Cole from the lead, that became a lot harder to do. Yeah, so here I see 2 turns of Reflect left. It might be a good idea to try to preserve Klefki. On the other hand, you could just click Sunny Day and let the Mons in the back take advantage of it, but getting another Reflect up would be very nice. And they swap into Appleton right as I'm swapping in the Noivern. So this is great. It means I get another chance to hit the Appleton with a renewed special attack stat. Now they do go for Rage Fist into my Noivern, so that's not ideal. But with Reflect up, and I think that Primeape just doesn't have enough power on that Rage Fist. Like, it's something that we think of as really scary because of Annihilate, but it's not even stab and you have the lower attack. So I feel like you need a lot of stacks to do respectable damage with it. And because Drain Punch isn't really going to do much, that Primeape doesn't really have recovery to counteract the Salt Cures. So yeah, we just go for another Draco, and then I'm not really sure what to do with Nagelstack. At this point, we might as well just build up Iron Defense boosts. Like, or hit them with Body Press. Honestly, there's no wrong answer there. And the double Draco Connect is quite nice, and 90% is 90%, but I have been failed by 90% many times, so. Yeah, if this turn works out properly for me, then I have the double KO, and Nagelstack is still quite set up. Yeah, that does nothing. Wow. Yeah, it really was the Nagelstack show, this whole set. Oh, the crit. That probably mattered for the KO, honestly, but I don't know that it really mattered for the game overall at this point. And yeah, it's just Sneasel and Colossal in the back now. Do have the fear of potential Surf into Flare Blitz, and Reflect is gone, but on the other hand, like, we can just swap in Crocodile to, yeah, this is actually pretty great. To do the Intimidate, and Nagelstack has so many defense boosts that even if Cole is at +2, it's still effectively fighting into -1, and it'll only be +1 itself with the Intimidate. So yeah, I think we're still in a really good position here. And yeah, Sneasel goes for that Surf. We 100% don't care, especially because of the Grass Terra, but even if not. So we get to see all this. And if they crit a Flare Blitz into Knuckle Stack, then it's a real game. But no, it's just Rock Slide. Going for flinch is actually is pretty respectable too, but that's not going to do any damage. We do flinch though, but it feels a little like prolonging the inevitable. Now you can just swap into either of these mons. There's an argument for either. If you sack Noiver and then you get to click Reflect with Klefki on another turn, and either way you can swap or you can just please CC. Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer at this point. Like cycling Intimidate would be really good, but then you open yourself up to more crits potentially. It's kind of just playing the odds. I don't really know what this Protect play was for. Oh, to get an extra Leer off. That's actually quite cute. If you can reduce some of those defense boosts, then the weakness policy proc starts to matter more. And they actually did call my double into the Coal, so I mean, it makes sense, right? But the Sneasel puts on so little pressure, and if I can just cycle Crook in and out, that basically counteracts the Leers. With that said, I think I just go for this again. And honestly, I'd be surprised if CC didn't kill. So yeah, here's the Flare Blitz. It's going for the crit. It doesn't get it. That is a lot more damage than I thought it would do, actually, but the super effective makes sense. And with the Leer dropping my defense once, so it was effectively neutral. CC goes in though, that should take care of Cole, and then this Body Press will definitely take care of the 4 times weak Sneasel. So yeah, that was a really fun first week. I believe next week's theme is going to be like a first letter, last letter. Like you have to make a team of Mons whose last letters are the same as their first, so it should be really fun. I'm playing Andy LA VGC, might be Andy Law, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, definitely come check it out next week. I will be uploading my Malamar games every week if I can. Until next time.